Hey everybody, I'm going to try and speak up today because we don't have our fancy microphones this afternoon, but if anybody has trouble hearing us, just let us know. And as always, if you are watching this at 3 o'clock on Monday, it is live. So jump in those comments, say hello, ask your questions. We'll try and answer whatever we can. We have a bunch of questions that people asked ahead of time. We have a lot. We have some fun stuff to talk about. I think we have some we can share. We have some we can't share, but you know that's us.
We can tease.
Yeah, we'll tease. Ostensibly we are here today because these two little guys come out tomorrow. Do you want to? I mean, how do we want to start here? Do we want to talk about them quick? Do we want to see if there's anybody? All right,
let's talk about the new guys. Talk about when they're out, how you get them, how much they are.
People chime in the comments.
Yeah.
So the ever expanding, both behind me and now in front of me, Mckette Line. This is part of the archive collection. This is all stuff that we have been going into the famed archives. And I don't know why I put air quotes.
I don't know either.
Famed, maybe? I don't know. And scanning the original artifacts there to bring you guys the best one-to-one lineage copies you can get. And right now, we're diving into stuff that I've wanted to do ever since the beginning of this line, which is stuff that was mysterious concepts made for the movie, but that never made it on screen. And I've got them here with some of the other ones because I think it's neat to show the scale of these guys. What we're releasing tomorrow is the first time we're doing a 2-pack of these Mckettes. And that 2-pack is Lightman, and there's a backstory there, and Bubblehead. And he doesn't have much of a story at all. He's a big mystery. And in fact, the name Bubblehead is just literally what the archives calls him. There's nothing, production-wise that really even points to a name for this guy. These two together are actually going to be only $349. They come out tomorrow at noon. That's less than the cost of one Max Rebo. So you can get both of these guys and add some new shapes and sizes and colors to your collection. The best part about this line is the variety, that you have all these weird and wonderful designs by all these different amazing effects artists. And to me, every new one that goes in there, the more different it looks from the rest of them, the happier I get. And just looking at these shelves full of these things and bringing those new ones in and putting them in is always a good feeling. And the more variety that this line has, I think, the more impressive it gets. There is something about the old saying, more than the sum of its parts. I feel like this line is that. So tomorrow, these guys here, just for reference, tomorrow, both Bubble Man and Lightman, as a 2-pack, $349, goes live at noon Eastern. It is, 100 pieces, numbered edition only. The plaques will match. So, if you get, it is literally like packed in one box together. So anybody that orders this 2-pack, the plaques will both get a matching number. The numbers are set based on the time you check out on our website. So get there early. So far, buzz is pretty good on these. And for our first foray into the sort of real deep cut weirdos that didn't make it, I'm really impressed, and I think they're going to actually sell pretty well. I'm very curious what tomorrow is going to be like for these. These are both made in the studio here. They have their wood bases just like the rest of them. It might be tough to see in photos and video and stuff like that, but this guy's actually got a few layers of paint on him. He's not just plain white. Even his eyes, we noticed that the originals have a sort of brown sclera and a dark iris, like a black iris, and we've got that on there. So when you get really close to these eyes, you can see a little bit of brown on either side of the eye. And Bubblehead has an exceptional amount of paint on him. A little more than I think we even expected when we started him, but we held on to the original price just for you. And when you get up close, there's purples, there's light greens, there's sort of teal tones and blues. He's got some blood red tones around his mouth and in particular around the eyes, the way like a fisheye would be. The folks here at the shop have been calling him Squidward. Rob called him Cthulhu for a long time. He's definitely got a squid thing happening though, and he's pretty substantial, you know, size-wise. I mean, you know, Lightman's tall, but like when you get, you know, just next to these guys, like he's right there with, you know, all of the other bus guys like, you know, Nynum or Rees and Ishitib.
Yeah, even Tiki Man said the two new pieces are quite large, so
yeah,
they really are. They are.
Yeah, they're not tiny. That's for sure. Did I have those right?
Yeah, right.
Lightman's cool because so this was Dave Carson's sculpt. Dave, who did the Gamorrean bust. He did Nynum. He did a bunch of other ones for the movie. He said that George asked him to do a take on the Close Encounters alien as a possible design for what they were calling Lightman. If you've ever seen the behind-the-scenes footage, there's shots of Peter Diamond in a suit made like a black velvet suit with giant
light bulbs,
super high voltage light bulbs all over him, and he's dragging cable behind him and everything, and he's traipsing through the set. And the idea was that they would shoot it that way to put the light effect on the set, and then they would comp in after it some sort of alien design. And this was a concept for that. Ultimately not used, but pretty cool. He's also, today we were, who was it that posted? Somebody was asking for the comparison.
Booty. Yes.
You know.
Gabe, I think. Yeah, it was Gabe.
He's there. I mean, he's not bad. He might be in competition. I mean, so far Max is the one that everybody talks about, but maybe, I don't know. Bubblehead was designed by Dan Howard. Dan was a fabricator. So Dan was somebody when they were doing the life-size characters, stuff like a Man, Ian. So
how dare you say that?
I don't know. So when they made the full-size Man costume, he took the maquette that Phil made, which was already pretty big, and then turned that into a 6-foot costume, carved it out of foam by hand, chipped away at it, and then him and Jeannie Lauren, I believe, put the skin textures on it and stuff like that. And Dan did a couple of little maquettes. His style is interesting. It's not as refined as a lot of the more proper like clay sculptor guys were. But there's energy to it, and there's some interesting stuff. There's another one called Helmet Head that, and again, this is just what the archives calls him. That's a really nice companion to Bubblehead. So, you know, who knows? Maybe
stay tuned.
Not super refined, but like a cool design. Yeah. And that's just, you know, everybody has their specialties. But it is neat to go back. You know, luckily Dan initialed his, so there's even one that only exists in photographs that we've never found the original of. But we know it was him because we found a little like handwritten DH on the base in one of the pictures. So more prop archaeology to come. So let's dive into our questions.
Yeah, I have a lot of people saying hello too, so let's get to it.
Yeah.
So Ronald says, "Hey Tom, surprise me with news." So hopefully we're surprising you,
We'll
Ronald.
see what we can do.
Steven says, "Hey Tom and Rob, hope you're all doing well." So
We
hey
are,
Steven. Ian says, "Hey guys." Tiki Man says hello. Christopher Lord, what's up,
Hey.
guys? This 2-pack looks great. So
Thank
thanks,
you, Christopher.
And then Ian says, spoiler, Deep Cut Weirdos is going to be the new name of the collector group. At least a t-shirt. Hell, I think that would be a good shirt.
Yeah,
Like in our font. Yeah.
Just like
Deep Cut Weirdos. Or a band name, you know, who knows?
Oh, it's definitely the band.
Mitchell, took lunch late to be here. Hello. So
Hey,
thanks,
all right.
Mitchell.
Nice.
And then Joe says, just wanted to say Apple Slug would make a great addition to this collection. Funny you say that. We were
like
just
him.
talking about
We
him.
were just talking
We
about
do
him.
like
We
him.
like him a lot.
All right, I do have some previous
Okay.
questions.
Sure.
Sticking with the 2-pack theme, Ian is asking, can we expect similar 2-pack numbered edition releases from other unused concept maquettes? And also, are there any unused concept maquettes that we can imagine doing as a legacy edition release?
So, two-part question.
Two-part question.
Part one, more 2-packs. I think we'll see how this does. I think there are some of the unmade ones that maybe could even be standalones.
Yeah.
Sometimes for us, one of the reasons this is a 2-pack is because we figured out a way that we could make them and get a good price, and then kind of like double the value kind of situation. Some of those unused designs I think are strong enough they could be singles. I think some of them would work great as 2-packs. Some maybe even more than that, depending on how we do it. So yes, definitely a possibility of more of that. And then unused concepts as legacies. I can think of one offhand. There could be others. I mean, between Ken and Dave and Phil, especially. Chris, most of his wound up getting used, I think. Maybe there's one or two. But yeah, it's a possibility.
All right. We have Mike saying, "What's up, Regal Robot Squad?" Hey, Mike. Jeff, hello.
You mean deep cut weirdos.
Yeah, right. Get it right. Jeff says, "Hello, Tom and Rob. Any idea when the Slug will come out?"
The
Space Slug.
Not a firm date, but we have completed all of the digital aspect of all of that. We've actually got paint masters for one version of it right now, and the other one in the works. So it is moving along. My guess is probably late summer, but we're going to see. We got to get some samples in and see how a few things look.
Parminder says, "Hey, everybody."
Hey.
So, hey, Parminder, thanks for showing up. We have a couple people asking about the Bellac Staff. How is that coming, shipping?
They're going. In fact, Ross is shipping a bunch of them today. So they're going out about 10 at a time every few weeks. And they're going to keep doing that for the next few months. It's a mix of our production in terms of getting them cast and polished and ready to go, and then the metallizing company's production schedule and getting each batch of our things done and back to us. And then once they're here, we do the final distressing on them, and then they get boxed and shipped out. So it's a little bit of a process. I would say, probably between 10 and 20 a month for the next few months. It'll probably be closer to 20 a month once the rhythm really gets, but they are going, and yeah, there should be people with tracking numbers really in their inbox today.
Steven says, "Hey guys, it's nice to have had clients reschedule last minute so he could join the live stream."
There you
So
go.
thanks.
All right, we go. That's what we asked for.
Oh, and someone just came in and said, "Woo! Who do you think that
He's
is?"
not mowing the lawn?
No, he's not. Maybe he is.
That's
He's
true,
a
yeah.
multitasker.
Welcome, Alex.
Hey, Alex. More questions. Okay, this is a good one.
Okay.
Well, let's stick to the Mckettes first.
Okay, sure.
Ian's asking any update on timing for Effant Man.
I can give you a production update, but maybe not a timing update. I can say this: he won't be before July. We do have the first, I want to say, 35 or so are cast, painted, assembled, and haired. We are still working on the soft goods aspect of it and getting that going for the run. And they are currently, as they're going, in between other stuff, still casting more bodies, working on things like the hands, the jaws, and the starting to do paint on more of those too. So they are moving along. They look great. He's huge. He barely fits in this shelf. So he's at least as tall as that Tauntaun, maybe a hair under, maybe like a quarter inch shorter. And so, yeah, they're going. We'll keep you posted in terms of when we know a date that they'll be released.
Cool. Ian's also asking, which is good because since we debuted that last San Diego Comic-Con, right? If I'm on this way, sure.
Yes.
So he's asking, will you guys both be attending San Diego Comic-Con this year? Any hints on how many reveals, first looks we can expect?
How many? I don't know.
Yeah.
It'll probably be less than last year's number, because last year was like 8 or 9, and that felt a little high.
Yeah, we were stacked last year.
Just in terms of the time that you get on stage.
I was going to say, we had 40 things in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It didn't work
we
out.
had like 40 slides.
Oh,
like
we literally,
40
yeah.
slides. So, in terms of will we be there? Yes, Rob will definitely be there. I may be there as well. We will be a part of the Lucasfilm High-End Collectibles Update panel with Brian Merton from Lucasfilm, like last year. We will be announcing some new things. Some of them, I think I can even say some new lines, not even just new things.
I think we could definitely say that.
We will have news on Indiana Jones replicas. We will have news on Star Wars replicas. We will have news on Star Wars decor. I'm looking at the board because, and there's a lot to come towards the tail end of this year. And
we have a lot to show.
Yeah, we have a lot to show. It's going to be a little bit about dialing things down.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a way to do it, though. Maybe breaking it down into the line
and
showing the line rather than all of the individual
And
items.
we'll allow you to go first this time. So,
yes.
so this time we could take as long as we want.
Yeah. But yes, at San Diego, lots of new stuff to announce.
Joe Blatz is saying, you know what would be incredible?
What's that?
A Man. And then Ian follows up that he did not pay Joe to say that.
Right. And then Ian faked.
Yeah, he's still in the same world as he's always been.
Yeah, he's kind of living in the same space.
Yeah. Brandon Way Nerdy popped on. He said, "Hey everyone." So hey, Brandon.
People realize like a Man is big. Is he taller than the Rancor? I mean, I'm like looking at my full. Size
with the staff,
with the staff,
totally.
Much taller.
Yeah,
but
but he's probably pretty close in height. Yeah,
17,
yeah,
16, 17,
yeah. Maybe at least to his shoulder, on top of
At
the shoulder.
That, yeah. All right.
Cece popped on. She says, "Hey all, hey Cece." What else do we have? This is a good one. Mike is asking, when might we expect the next standalone sketch release, and is it tied to a previously released Mckette?
So, we could. I mean,
I think we could
expect it on a Wednesday, not a Tuesday.
Right? Yeah, it is.
It is on June 11th.
Sooner than you think.
That's when you can expect that. Should we tell them the answer to the next question?
Who it is?
Well, no, but like,
is
it related to a previous release?
Sure, I think we can.
Okay. Well then, yes. Of course, all of them. Really.
Yeah, I was like,
I think that was a condition.
That's kind of what I was asking you that.
So yes, it will be related to a previous release.
Yeah.
It will be a standalone sketch, and it will be available on June 11th, Wednesday, June 11th,
cool.
at noon Eastern.
Ian saying hopefully Gabe will be able to stream the panel again. So yeah,
that would be amazing.
Yeah, I'm hoping that happens too. It seems like that's going to happen. So.
Yeah, and as long as we're going first, I won't be like pacing around the room ready to die. Like, why? He's not gonna have
just think how I felt.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Here's a good one. What's the next Indiana Jones prop? Yeah, I should have waited for this one.
What's the next Indiana Jones prop?
Yeah, I mean, I think he thinks past what we showed,
you
but
don't think he means
drum roll, please. Oh, don't hurt yourself.
On.
Yeah. Oh god. Then Tom died.
Yeah. Okay.
And he ain't kidding.
Does he mean
this thing is hefty.
They're really hefty.
Yeah.
It's
like literally
density of
it's
it.
dwarfing the Mckettes too.
Yeah,
it's crazy how big it is, and it is in the background right now.
It's not even. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You get them on the same plane.
Yeah.
Forget it. I'll just leave this here. We're gonna do a whole video on this guy maybe next week. Maybe we'll see. I guess we'll see what's like. Either way, you're gonna get some video reviews. We'll have lots of stuff. So I'll do a quick turn on this, and then I think we kind of call it a day.
Yeah,
I don't think they need too much. Plenty of detail. We'll look at the bottom. We'll just leave that there. So this is going to be available next Tuesday, correct. 5/27, noon Eastern, timed edition, 2 weeks to reserve yours. So get in there right away, get your reservation in. Anybody who orders within that 2 weeks will honor the order. After that, it gets capped, closed, they go into production. We will only make as many as people ordered, so don't miss out. Don't let the urn happen again. Don't make this the urn gate. As for what's next, if the person didn't mean this, let's assume they did. I'm checking, like, is this table intact?
It's just slowly bowing.
It's a density.
Yeah,
Like,
I said
so,
it. Everyone who picks something up is always like, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like an Oscar.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh, I want to thank the
Yeah,
Academy.
I mean, well, it remind them it's solid. That's a
It is
solid
yes,
cast
this
piece.
is
Yeah, it's not.
cast. We do have another Indiana Jones prop in the works. Another replica. I don't know if you would call it that. It is.
Yeah.
Well, let's say this: it is a recreation of something that's in the archives.
Mm-hmm.
It is not something I have ever seen done.
Replicated, no.
Licensed, fan made, anything.
It's very us.
It's super us.
Yeah.
It is unexpected.
Yes.
For sure. It is uniquely Regal Robot, no matter what. It's very detailed. It's very, very different from anything I have ever seen done in the Indiana Jones sphere. And for that reason alone, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, it's cool.
That will be out. We have it tentatively scheduled for July 11th, which should be a Tuesday. Did we say the 11th or the 1st?
No, I think the
Did we
11th.
move it to the 11th? I thought at one point we were talking about the 1st, but maybe we pulled that back. All right,
Well,
like I said,
it'll be
tentative.
cleared up tomorrow
Yeah.
when we do the schedule update.
Early July.
Yes.
But tomorrow we'll post the schedule up in the group and on our regular socials. But very, very unusual item. Very unexpected sort of thing. Very different. But still super detailed and something that's a wonderful moment in the movies. And I'll leave it at that.
Gibner says it's a bowl of dates. And he wrote just a bowl, dates not included.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Bring your own monkey.
Yeah, but we have a lot of people commenting on the arc. We got a boy, howdy, that arc piece. The arc, I would need 2 of those bad boys.
Yeah.
That's some shiny furniture right there.
It's
Oh my God, it's
so
beautiful. Yeah, so people seem to be really digging the arc.
Beautiful.
It is. It's a good
They
one.
really are cool.
And Alex didn't comment, so I'm assuming he ran himself over with a lawnmower. So
soon.
pour one out for Alex, everybody. Yeah, out of the grill cup though.
Yeah. It's behind me.
Yeah.
The only thing, so we do have 2 other things on the schedule we can throw in the mix that we haven't talked about. So we do have another Mckette, signature edition only.
Yep. Also
really
coming.
cool piece. That's going to be June 24th, it looks like. And in just a little over a week, actually just after the Archangel comes out, we have a cool thing coming. It's technically a product of our sister company, Thompson Designs, but it'll be carried on both sites. And it is for people who collect masks or helmets, an adjustable, all-metal helmet and mask stand. Something that can go from 12 inches tall to 21 inches tall.
Heavy duty.
Metal topper.
Super heavy,
base,
sturdy.
But at a great price. They're going to be $29.99 each. They'll actually be $24.99 as an introductory price when they first go up for the first few weeks. So check that out when it goes. I know a lot of folks who collect our stuff also collect things like masks and helmets and stormtroopers and Royal Guards and whatever else. And it's nice to have a stand that is sturdy enough to hold something like a Vader, sturdy enough, tall enough to hold a Royal Guard, short enough to do a stormtrooper, and everything in between. And for all the guys like me who have tons of rubber masks, they're really cool. And it's a really nice anodized black, museum style kind of vibe to it. They're going to be cool. So yeah, those will be out soon as well. So,
Yeah.
And they actually are going to debut in the Monsterpalooza
Program
guide. It'll be the first look that anybody has at them.
Mike actually says he loves the idea of the mask stand. So cool.
Cool. Yeah.
Greg was asking about the schedule, but like we said,
Okay.
we'll have something up tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to.
That's
He wants to prepare his wife
I
for
was just going to say, because that worked out.
for his spending.
They got to fight over the.
Craig was asking, have we given any more thought to a Regal Robot gift card?
I actually have a repeating calendar event that comes up for me to give more thought to it. Thus far, we have not been able to get something where that makes good sense. There's just on the technical side some complications in terms of integration between the website and things like off-site payment plans and stuff like that. And then on the other side of things, as a licensee, we have to think about royalty reporting and when that happens and tracking that sort of stuff. And right now, we don't have a great way to do it. So we're just going to keep thinking about it, and maybe someday.
Chris,
in the meantime, folks get a Visa gift card or something.
Yeah, that works.
You can always apply it that way.
We take those.
Yeah.
Christopher's asking if we had seen the Sid Mead exhibit in New York City. And I didn't know there was one.
Cool.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
maybe we need to have a little date there. Sounds good. Steven says, when can we expect a one-to-one replica of the board? We'll do a magnet of it. This would be really small. You can't read anything of it. It'd be awesome.
I don't know. We did get a few people that noticed in the video with the
Darts.
when we were announcing these guys that we showed the board. But,
Yeah. Well, I mean, that technically was the board, but that was the stripped down board.
Cleared it out just for that.
Yeah.
What was funny is you can't read it in the thing, but under one of the blurry pictures, I put the words #confirmed. A little nod to Tiki Man, I think, right there.
We have two people asking at the same time. When can we expect another prequel, Mckette?
Good question. I'll say this. We have one in the works.
We do.
We have one most of the way prototyped.
It's a very cool one, too.
Really cool.
I'm really excited about it.
And it was a combination of some scan elements and original mold elements, which is always a nice type of lineage to get involved, which I always love when we could do that. So in the works, not something we have on the calendar yet.
David saying RA7 question mark?
I would love that.
Me too. Yeah. Brenton is saying, could we get a Revenge of the Sith Mckette?
Possibly. There's not as many.
No.
But there's a few. The Lenny Face guys are Revenge of the Sith,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The Utapauans.
Yeah.
Those are cool.
Would you guys want those?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, post what you want us to make,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
we'll try and do it. BJ saying, when can we expect a one-to-one Wicket? Wicket good.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Hard to say. Hard to say.
Yeah.
There's a few different one-to-one things that we have in the works. Between life-size busts, even some full-size figure type stuff. But those are always very long development sort of periods, because you're not just, coming up with a way to make one of something is one thing. Coming up with a way to make a run of something sometimes needs a different point of view. And we're very geared here for the one-of type things. When it comes time to, make those reproducible, there's a lot that's going to have to go into it and get figured out. And then there's also sourcing things, furs and fabrics and all that sort of stuff that these days can also be challenging, weirdly enough. So, not on the calendar. Would love to do them, though.
Yeah, definitely. Well, my written questions are done. Why don't you go over again the two new releases, and any guys, if you guys wanted questions asked, put them in the comments while Tom's talking.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
We have things to do.
Tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern, our first 2-pack of Mckettes. Our first Mckettes based on concepts that actually never even made it to the film. Our first piece by Dan Howard, which is kind of cool too. I didn't even think of that as an element, but Bubblehead, again, the name given to him just by the archive staff years ago, and Lightman, which I think he's just called Alien in the archives, but we know this is a Lightman concept based on Dave Carson's interview. If you look up on our YouTube page, the @RegalRobot YouTube, you can find my chats with Dave Carson, and in one of those he talks about that, this concept being sort of loosely based on a Close Encounters alien and being an early attempt at what Lightman might look like. The two of them will be $349 plus shipping and handling, which is cheaper than a lot of our numbered edition or single signature editions that are normally sort of $399 even to start. We do have a few exceptions. The ones all on the right here actually are still available, if I'm not mistaken. I think Droopy's getting a little low in stock, but the numbered edition of the Wall Cabashite, the Joe Johnston design, is still available. Max Rebo, the Phil Tippett numbered edition, is still available. And then this is a Jeannie Lauren signature edition. Jeannie, who worked with Dan Howard on building the full-size Drooping Cool. And this was sculpted by the late Wesley Seeds. But anyway, these guys, tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern, $349, limit of just 100 pieces. Get there early, reserve yours, and they are already making them in the studio. I believe they have about 60 of them done so far. What that means is everybody who pays in full, your orders will be shipping out really fast. And in fact, we're just waiting on these wood bases to come in for this guy. And then those will be going out. I believe those are coming the first week of June. So realistically, you place your order tomorrow. Within about 3 or 4 weeks, you should be getting your wonderful little 2-pack of weirdos.
Mike has a pretty interesting / sneaky question.
Sneaky?
Yes. In reference to the Legacy sketch that's coming out, the solo sketch.
Yeah.
Is it associated with the maquette that's still available for purchase on the Regal Robot website?
Ooh, that is sneaky.
That is sneaky.
Do we answer that? You're going to give too much away?
I don't know. My brain's not working good enough for that. I mean,
you
probably can answer that. I think
so. All right. It is not available at the moment.
Make your guesses now, folks.
So there you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
I expect a full thread on this.
Oh, yeah.
In the Regal Robot
Yeah,
Fan and
with
Collector
like
Showcase
yarn
group.
pointing to things.
Yeah. And by the way, if anybody happens to be watching that hasn't joined our Facebook group yet, please jump in there now. Most of the people in the comments that we talked about are in there. It's a lot of fun, really good group of folks. Just search Regal Robot Group or Regal Robot Showcase, and it'll come up on Facebook. Click join, say you agree to all the rules, and actually, abide by them, and you're in.
Ian says, how quickly will paid in full orders ship on the new guys?
Oh, I was just talking about it.
I know.
So I'll reiterate. A few weeks. Basically, the maquettes are done. We're waiting on the bases for him, which should be in early June, first week of June. And so I would say by first or second week of June, we should be shipping on these.
Joe says, we need a Kurt Thatcher legacy design, pretty please.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. We like Kurt.
We do.
Question on Effant Man again. I mean, you want to just give that quick spiel on where he's at? Is he happening? Is he not happening? Effant Man.
Effant Man, not Effant Man. So the maquette.
Yes.
So one of many that we would love to do.
Yeah.
I think that's about all we can say about him. He has a number of reasons that he's not in the collection so far. There's a few things that we need to figure out production-wise, maybe more than a few, but he's very close to our hearts. We know how much certain people want him, and when the time comes that we can make him happen, we will.
Ian says, yak face, question mark. He's going down the list now.
Yeah.
Mike says, love the unreleased concept idea. Cool. Hope to see more of these. So cool, man. I hope everyone feels the same way, because we want to do them all. And that
really is it. Anytime somebody asks a question, are you going to do the maquette for such and such? It's like, is it in the archives? Yes, then we want to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, was it ever shown for 12 years in the background of some documentary 40 years ago? If so, we want to make it.
I'm going to hit Steven's question first, and then I have a couple more. On Lightman, is there some detail on the top of his head? In one of the videos, it almost looks like there's a fingerprint that stayed in the sculpt, which is pretty cool.
There are a number of rake lines and sort of fingerprinty stuff on him.
Yeah.
And we try to capture some of that in what we're doing and have that come across. Bubblehead has a lot of sort of like brushy texture on him as well. Some little crosshatchy stuff. You can see that on top of his head. You really only can see it in person, but it looks like, when he was smoothing the clay, he took a stiff brush and just did a lot of this. Lightman has the look of, it looks like somebody did this, to like dent his head in. And there's just like, a series of curved lines there that very likely are a fingerprint. But he also has a bunch of that sort of brushstroke smoothing stuff going on, back of his neck, back of his shoulders, across the belly. So these are the sort of things where it's funny. I see Christian working on the 3D scans sometimes, and we'll agonize over some line. And I was like, oh yeah, no, we got to make sure we catch this line. And then we realize we're looking at this head,
it's a millimeter,
this big on a screen, and then what we're doing, you can't even see with the naked eye, you know. So, but that's just what we do.
So Rick is asking, what made you choose these two guys as a 2-pack? Darts.
Darts.
Didn't you see the video, Rick?
Yeah,
we both literally threw darts.
I don't really, yeah,
I think the fact that he's on the Smithsonian cover,
yes,
they're both there.
That was definitely it. We said if we were going to do these, we wanted to pick 2 that were on the Smithsonian cover, just because that's such a famous image at this point. And then it was just about balancing which ones were good in terms of how we would produce them so that we could do it at the price we wanted to do. Because we didn't want to put out, you know, a $900 2-pack. So it was just about picking designs that made sense for that. And, you know, maybe one that had more paint, one that had less paint, one that had, you know, different type of casting than the other, that sort of thing.
Clint is asking, how about a legacy sketch for the Body Slam?
Ooh,
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be neat.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't even have thought of the hollow chest set. Yeah, but yeah,
interesting.
I mean, they're not technically maquettes, but they're close. John is asking, when will we be producing the rest of the Ark of the Covenant? We'll do a mail order thing. You got a piece every month.
We don't have plans for that, but I would say, you know, for now.
Oh, here it comes. Oh, here it comes. Oh, gosh.
Everybody just
yeah.
For now, maybe just plan on in a week picking up a couple of these guys just in case. And
it's a good start if you want to make your own.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
well, the funny thing is too, it's like if people talk about just the Ark, like think about how big this is. Now think about 2 of them. Now think about the giant box.
Yeah.
It's, you know, in the archives where they usually have it is in a relatively open
area.
space.
So it looks small there.
Even there it seems big, but it's not like if you put that thing in this room,
right? It'll take huge. The whole room up. Yeah.
So I would just say, in the meantime, take advantage of these fellas and get one of them tomorrow. I feel like I want the gloves. I don't want to get
yes. Could we see the Indie Idol soon with acrylic eyes?
I would love to do that. Idol.
Yeah, we both love that piece.
Yep. Yeah, there's multiple versions of it. They have, you know, there's the 2 versions in the archives alone. But yeah.
I have something. Why don't we talk about the weathering, non-weathering on the Ark?
Oh, yeah. So this, when we first announced it, we had said we were going to do a light distressing pass. Usually when you're doing something metallic like this, distressing pass just, to me, makes it look a little more real. It maybe pops some of the details. And I know a few people even talked about how they weren't sure if it needed it. And sure enough, when we got the first samples back after plating, they
were too pretty.
Pretty clear.
We
didn't need it. Yeah, no. The details just jump out of this thing. The reflections and all of that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it just doesn't need it, and it does kind of make sense in the sense of the Ark. Like whereas certain other things, Bellac Staff, you know, a little bit of weathering, I think helps it. This thing is, like you said, it's too pretty. We didn't want to touch it. So yeah, the end result is we're not doing the weathering on these. We are just going to leave them as is. And they're just big and heavy and shiny and cool.
Yeah. All right, I am caught up. Maybe one last quick recap of what they can buy tomorrow.
So this you can get next week. Oh, back surgery I can get after that. And then tomorrow, Bubblehead and Lightman. I don't know why Bubblehead cracks me up every time I say it. 2-pack, $3.49 on the site, 12 noon Eastern tomorrow. It's the next in our series of scanned off the originals, made right off the real thing at the archives, replicas that you can bring home. It will add some great variety to your shelves full of maquettes. It'll make it feel like you've walked into the archives. And it's really how I feel whenever I see these things, especially when we do the table shot, you know, and we lay them all out.
Yeah.
It just starts to feel like you're looking at those shelves at the archives where they're all...
We need a bigger table.
We're
running out of room.
We need a bigger photo table at this point. So, don't miss them. Jump in tomorrow at noon Eastern. reserve yours. They will be shipping just a few weeks later for all the paid in full orders. So if you do want to get them sooner rather than later, pay in full instead of using the payment plan. And if you don't want to, at $349, take 6 months to pay it off. It's probably a little bit of a higher deposit, and then maybe $50 a month. I mean, to get Bubblehead and Lightman, how can you miss? I mean, you can't let that go. Alrighty. Thank you everybody for watching. As always, go find us, regalrobot.com, follow us, hit like, hit subscribe, go to the Regal Robot fan group on Facebook, and
be like the cool kids. Come on.
Yeah, that's right. And jump in the comments. Let us know what you thought. Let us know any other questions.
Let us know what you want us to make.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's a great thing for the Facebook fan group. You know, get in there and make posts. Tell us what you want to see. And you know, we have a lot in the works, but we're always trying to figure out what do people want to work into what we're doing here, and we'd love to hear from you. So thanks so much. Have a great day.
Bye, guys.